The World Pool Masters attracts the very best players on the planet. 16 in all, each with a claim to the title. Former winners, world champions past and present, U.S. Open title holders, all have the pedigree to take this title. But only one man will succeed. Here in Nottingham, our field of 16 is being slowly whittled down. 3 men are into the quarterfinals. 3 have been sent packing in the opening exchanges of the Party Poker World Pool Masters. Coming up, a man out to recapture the title he last won in 2012. He made the most of home advantage to clinch the title. Can Karol Skowerski repeat those heroics on foreign soil? There's been a sensational start to this year's tournament. Niels Feijen, the defending champion, fell at the first hurdle out to Daniel Corriere, a man whose claim to fame rested with the collection of 2 Italian titles. But here in Nottingham, he mastered the break and denied Feijen any sort of opening. Those that did come Feijen's way, he failed to take. It gave Corriere the edge and ensured he went through to the quarterfinals. The top seed should have taken note. In our next match, former 2-time world champion Torsten Homan found himself 5 racks down after the opening exchanges with Nikos Economopoulos. It was a scoreline that proved impossible to recover from. A brief fightback ended by the Mosconi Cup star from Greece, who is now through to the quarterfinals. Plenty of drama in our third match with the appearance of the first of 4 homegrown players attempting to make their mark in this year's tournament. Darren Appleton, a runner-up last year, faced Alex Pagulayan, the Filipino who now plays out of Canada. The two battled all the way, and with the match tied after 12 racks, Pagulayan found something extra to pull clear and book his place in the quarterfinals. 3 men through to the quarterfinals: Corriere, Economopoulos, and Pagulayan. Coming up, Karol Skowerski, who won this title back in 2012, he'll open his 2014 campaign against China's Wang. In the bottom half, there's everything to play for. U.S. Open winner Shane Van Boening takes on James Georgitis. England's Carl Boys will play Walid Majid, and Mika Immonen takes on Mark Gray. Coming up now, 2 more men hoping for a place in the quarterfinals. Poland's Karol Skowerski, who won in 2012, and China's Wang, the recent winner of the 10-ball New York Open.
It's the first time I've been here. It's an electrifying atmosphere. I used to watch this tournament on TV, and it's very good. I know Skowerski from the World Team Championship, but I've never played him before, so I'm looking forward to it.
Skowerski, who took the Masters title back in 2012, still regards this as one of the biggest prizes in the sport.
Poker World Pool Masters is one of the greatest tournaments in the world, so always if you compete in this tournament, it's a very big honor for a player. 2014 was, I think, a good year for me. Not good as 2012 when I won the World Pool Masters and was second on World Cup of Pool. Wang, honestly, I don't know him well. I know he's young, he's strong, he's a talented player, but every player in China play good, and when I compete with someone from Asia, I know it will be a hard match and I must be focused at the very beginning of the match.
Wang won the lag, but the real test in this tournament is the ability to master the break. Can failed, coming up dry, allowing Skowerski to run the rack out. In the second, the man from Poland demonstrated just how it should be done, breaking well and running the rack out. In the third, the break was solid enough, but the layout not so certain. Safety play followed, at which Skowerski fell short. Can then demonstrated just why he is so highly rated. But in the fourth, it was that thorny question of the break again. Can failed once more. Skowerski ran the rack out to restore his 2-rack advantage. This is now the 5th.
So in the few breaks that we've seen Skowerski do, he has done very well. There's the 1 in the side. Cue ball got away from him this time. See that? Now the cue ball got away, and that's why he doesn't have a shot. So if he leaves that cue ball more towards the center of the table, higher percentage he would have a shot on that too. So now he calls a push out.
Basically, with a push out, you can play into any zone of the table. You can hit any ball you want to. The key is you don't want to leave yourself a shot that you don't fancy. You don't want to leave your opponent a shot that he fancies. So now Wang comes to the table with two choices. Does he play this, or does he give the table back to Skowerski?
3-1 down, not breaking well. He might just decide to take this, but no, he gives it back. Doesn't like it. Didn't want to go offensive. No, that didn't work out well. He leaves that wide open. The only problem here for Can is he has to get back. First pot the ball, of course, but the three ball's right where he's standing. This is the key to the rack, and that's why he calls an extension. This is no gimme, Phil.
Crunch ball coming up.
Oh, very confident.
There's a case to say he actually struck that one a little too well. Got more action into the cue ball than he anticipated. And that's why the cue ball is closer to the object ball than he wanted.
Yeah, and his next problem is, well, he's got the rest out. He's a short fellow. And the four ball's right where the three ball is. It's a delicate shot here. He's got to go down and back up. Runs into the nine ball. Well, he's living on the edge here. This is a slippery slope.
Yes, the kiss there could have been a whole lot worse.
Another difficult shot here. Oh, that was so well played. What a beautiful stroke he has.
Interesting this, if Wang were to win this rack, he would have won both of his as a direct result of ineffective safeties by Skowerski.
This is going to be a big confidence booster, this rack, for Wang, because being down 3-1 wasn't really doing much, and Skowerski was shooting pretty good. That push out at the beginning of this rack, he could have chosen to take it on to try to make something happen, but instead he asked Skowerski, he said, let's see what you can do. And Skowerski blew the safety attempt, and that led to the rack for Wang Can. So good decision making on the part of Wang Can.
Welcome back to the World Pool Masters. It's the opening round clash between Skowerski and Can.
So watch for the yellow one at the top of the pack here. Tracking left. Nope, he didn't get it. This is massive frustration for Wang.
So, Ted, 3 breaks in the match for Wang, 3 dry breaks.
Not sure how much of it, that one ball he can see. He's looking at a safety. Oh, push out. He's actually left that shot on into the bottom corner pocket on the right there. Well, he doesn't like it. Possibility of scratching. Maybe not being able to get position. So it'll be up to Skowerski to deal with it.
Yes, attempting the one is a risk. And there's no point taking risks in cue sports when there's no reward. And obtaining position on the 2 would be mightily difficult, if not almost impossible. Well, it was a good part, but he couldn't get enough speed into the cue ball. Actually, on that line, I suppose, had he caught it a little sharper, maybe he could have found the gap and got position. It was a good try, but only a safety coming up.
No, he's not happy with that because Can see the 2 ball. Another poor safety from Skowerski.
Yes, Ted, he's potted well, broken reasonably well. The one obvious weakness in his game at the moment is the tactical side. It's left much to be desired.
This young man has to feel pretty good. He's had 3 break shots, all dry. Hasn't been able to make 1 ball on the break, and he finds himself only down 3-2. And he leaves almost an identical shot that he just hit.
At this level, Ted, not acceptable. The 5 and the 9 providing a wall there to hide behind, and no cover.
Well, that's also open. Of course, no shot to a pocket, apparently. Or maybe there is. Now, it doesn't appear from our overhead angle, from that angle. No. But there will be a safety option.
Now that, as they say, is more like it. And I'm afraid Skowerski has pretty much asked for this. utilising his 30-second extension, and no wonder. Actually finding a escape route here. That's just one part of the problem. No easy escape in itself, but if he does, then he's got to worry about not leaving the two on.
Well, he's going to unscrew the cue stick there. He's going to jump it. And you can bet he's a bit hurried right now. He has little idea where this is all going to go.
Well, he was in the lap of the gods, and they haven't smiled.
Like you say, Phil, it's really of his own doing. His safety game has not been up to speed here. He's going to have to try one again. So Karol Skowerski on the defensive. No more extensions. He got lucky there. I don't think that 2-ball passes. Oh, that didn't work out. That did not work out.
The reason it was a foul shot, of course, no balls touched a cushion, and so consequently, what a gift for Skowerski. That was a real blunder from Wang.
You know, and he really, Wang had Skowerski questioning his ability to play proper safes. Skowerski was really on the defensive, had made one good shot on a safety there, and he just handed over the rack. After contact, a ball must hit a rail. If not, you get the ball in hand anywhere on the table. And in 9-ball pool, that generally means a run out.
Well, if Skowerski does win the rack, which looks increasingly likely, what a blow for Wang. It would be a loss of rack that's completely of his own doing. That was the shot of a novice. Badly executed, ill-conceived.
Almost like he lost his concentration and didn't realize that he was supposed to hit a rail. He was so focused on getting that cue ball hidden behind the 8. Skowerski has to feel like he was handed a gift right there. Started off this match playing well. Had the arm loose early. Allowed Wang back in the match with some poor safety play. But now is looking to go up 4-2 in a race to 8. Winner breaks. He's really got a confident potting stroke. Not all that happy with that, Phil.
Just a wee bit in positional no man's land. It shouldn't be too much of a head scratcher. So 2 balls away from being halfway towards a quarter-final against Italy's Daniel Corriere. Delicacy, accuracy.
With ball in hand, Poland's Karol Skowerski moves up by 2. He leads Wang of China.
Welcome back to the World Pool Masters and the first round match between Karol Skowerski and Wang Can. Skowerski dominating the early exchanges, but a scratch off the break in the 7th allowed Can back into the match, closing the gap to just 1, as we pick up the action at the start of the 8th.
Now look at this. He's had so much frustration with breaking. 3 times he's broken, he hasn't made a thing. He just breaks in the middle of the table, which you almost never see. And he gets 1 down.
Yes, the 6 ball just crept in. You'll notice it here, right at the death there. Ricochet off the 3, just about goes in, but there's no shot on the 1.
Well, at least he made a ball. He was just trying to make something happen. Rarely do you see the players breaking from the middle of the table. They have much more success breaking from the sides.
Well, clearly there was a shot on the 1. It's gone badly incorrect for Wang. Didn't think he could get past the intervening ball there, but obviously he could. It was awkward cueing, mind you, and I'm not surprised he made a mistake.
That's a very daring shot, isn't it, to hit it that hard?
Well, I don't know about you, Ted, but this has been a very hard match so far to categorise. All kinds of good stuff, all kinds of elementary mistakes thrown in as well. No one player dominating. Skowerski in front with a golden chance to make it 5-3. But you can't say he's been particularly impressive en route to that scoreline.
Not at all. Early on he was. He started out the match leading 2-0. Second rack was a break and run, and we thought, man, this guy's in the zone early. Too many mistakes, especially in the safety game. He's been handed a golden opportunity here.
And with these kind of tournaments, there are no style points, certainly in terms of the first round. Just get your opening match under the belt, get involved in the tournament, and then build from there.
Yeah, the only problem is you don't have much time to get into the tournament. A lot of tournaments these guys play double elimination, or they have a group stage first. Not here. This is single elimination, race to 8, winner breaks. So you have to come out of the gates sprinting.
It's 5-3, but it's a match that's largely about errors. Skowerski has made fewer than Wang can, and that's why he's 3 racks away from victory. We're not saying that Skowerski has been overwhelmingly efficient with his break-off, but it's certainly been a whole lot better than his opponent.
He made the 4 on the side and the 1 down table in the, or rather up table in the corner. And he'll be shooting at the blue too. You can see it. He's got some work to do though. This is no gimme, Phil.
One of those situations where, although he spotted 3 balls on the break, he would have much preferred just 1 and shape on the next ball he had to pot.
Well, if he can work his way through this layout, this would be a real confidence booster as he gets closer to the finish line. But you got to make the ball first. And he leaves it open. Anyway, he wouldn't have left himself much on that red 3, so all around that was not a good play.
And now what an opportunity for Wang. Considering how things have gone, if he does make it 5-4, it's pretty extraordinary. He could have been well behind.
In 4 break shots, he's made 1 ball. And he is still in the match.
China have become a pretty powerful pool nation. They pretty much dominate the female game. And they've twice been winners of the World Cup of pool. The pairing of Li Yiwen and Fu Jiangbo.
And as you said, they won that World Pool Team Championship, which featured men and women players.
Yes, we talked about China B capturing that title, beating the Philippines in the final. In the semi-finals, they overcame Japan. In the quarter-finals, they whitewashed Great Britain 4-0. A British side that featured Darryl Peach, Chris Melling, Carl Boyes and Alison Fisher.
Yeah, they took him to school in that match. So with this 9 ball, Wang will find himself 1 down and breaking in the next rack. And he has got to feel very fortunate to be in this position. Right back to the center of the table. He moves it off just a little to his right. He's just trying anything. Look at that break off now. Does he have a shot? Yes, he does. He made the 2, the 1 and the 2 and the 4, and he's got a shot on the 3. Now, wonder if we'll see any other players, Phil, try to break from that spot. That's a good break off.
It worked out well. I'm not sure about the precise scientific merits of it, but on that particular instance, it will do.
Well, yeah, you might consider it a case of luck because only the 1 and the 9 are racked in the same position every time. The 1 at the top of the rack, the 9 is in the middle of the pack on the spot. So all the other balls are random.
Tried to be a trailblazer in this tournament by being China's first winner of the World Pool Masters. It's one of those events where Asia in general haven't had a great amount of success. 3 Filipino wins. One Indian win, Raj Hundal. And that's it. So no success for the Taiwanese. As yet, no success for the Chinese. But Wang hoping to put that to rights.
He's certainly got to like his chances now. When you battle through adversity like he has in this match and you find yourself tied 5-all in a race to 8 and you're breaking, you might start to think that the pool gods have something good in store for you.
Welcome back to this first round match between former Masters champion Karol Skowerski and Wang Can. It's all level after the opening 10 racks as we pick up the action at the start of the 11th.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He scratches.
And again, it's a gift. Look at this table. Skowerski will be licking his lips.
It's sort of, he only has himself to blame that he did not control the cue ball properly. It just shaved the 1 ball, but it was already near the pocket. So that wasn't really bad luck. That was just a bad break. Both these players limping towards the finish line.
Well, Daniel Corriere awaits in the quarters, and if he's watching this, the intimidation factor will be minimal. But
Exactly.
we all know from day to day, Ted, how things change.
That's true, and it's like that in a lot of sports. You can, for whatever reason, just not have it one day and just play terrible. You wake up the next day and everything comes together. But yeah, you're right about that intimidation factor, and I think that Corriere, he was so relaxed, freewheeling it against Niels Fine, and that served him well in that astounding victory over the Dutchman, our defending champion. And you're right, he is not going to be intimidated at all. Two more balls for Karol Skowerski. Yet another gift. And the way this match is going, Phil, you get the feeling there's still a few twists and turns in the road ahead to the final 9-ball.
Could not agree more. The pendulum so far has been very busy indeed, swinging one way then the next. And so Skowerski regains the lead. The in off the break was costly for Wang Can. Skowerski now 6-5 up.
Neither player able to get any distance on the other. A lot of mistakes. There's the 1 ball on the side. Will he have a shot on the 2? Well, the 2 ball has been pocketed. And he's got a shot on the 3. The 4 is out there. The 5 is out there. Well, he's got to take advantage of this. This is the moment for Karol Skowerski to finally get something positive going. Get himself on the hill, closer to victory.
Just a reminder of this 30-second shot clock in operation. 1 extension allowed per rack, and far more often than not, players tend to take it early in the rack when the table is all there and things need to be worked out. And your mind needs to be clear.
So he's used his extension. Just wanted to make sure he had proper position on this orange 5. He's got to bring the cue ball back up for the 6, which is just over the 9 ball. Still got that nice rhythm, but he has allowed too many mistakes into his game. Some poor safety play, some bad positional play. He is looking solid right here in rack number 12, and it's just in the nick of time.
Yes, hasn't missed any glaring pots, but you're quite correct, Ted. If he comes through this, he will know he needs to improve next time out. Got 2 or 3 companions here from Poland, and they will be delighted if the 8 and 9 are deposited and Skowerski gets onto the hill at 7-5. Hard to imagine he won't, although that wasn't clean.
Yeah, you can see his friends realize that was a little bit shaky. Karol Skowerski to the hill. 1 more, that's correct.
So can Skowerski apply the finishing touch? Objective number 1, a break, knocking a ball. Objective 2, drop on your next ball and then run out. That would be the dream ending for him.
He's got a ball down. He's got a shot on the 1. Now, after the 1, it'll be the red 3. And that's going to be the problem, because he's taking this one the other way.
The way to sum this up, I think, Ted, it's certainly not a roadmap to victory. That would be ridiculous to assume that. But I don't think it's any cause for complaint. Look at that wall of balls down the spine of the table. Even if he doesn't obtain position on the 3, the fallback would be a really good tactical shot to tie Wang in knots.
Well, that'll work itself out nicely. No applause from the crowd, but that was a nice effort.
Now holding off the 3 for the 4 is an impossibility. But there's plenty of angle on the 3. Have to say, with all of those balls there, he should have had cover.
So he doesn't go for the pot, he goes for the safe, and he leaves it on. This is the kind of shot that Wang can. He likes to play daring shots. This ought to be interesting. He's got to go way up table for the 3. What is he going to do to get back for the 4? I guess he can't really worry about that at this point. He can always play safe if he pots this, but this is a tough shot. Unsuccessful.
Yes, and when you take on a ball like that, you know the inherent risk. And if you miss it, you're entitled to leave it, which Wang has. One good shot here, one pot, one position. And Skowerski could have 1 foot and several toes in the quarterfinals.
Very confident pot there.
Yes, the 4-7 combination is elementary.
Well, he can sense it now. Spot in the quarterfinals. He's just got to get through these 4 balls. He already sees the roadmap in his mind. It's just a matter of staying calm and executing.
Checking the cue ball off the top cushion in potting the 4. At 5-5, he got cause for concern. But in these last 3 racks, he's shown an awful lot of steel. Karol Skowerski's opponent is Wang Can. Today, Wang couldn't.
It wasn't particularly pretty, but it got the job done. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you got there, as long as you got there. And Karol Skowerski moves into the quarterfinals here at the World Pool Masters with an 8-5 victory over China's Wang Can. Karol Skowerski will now move on to play Italy's Daniel Corriere in the quarterfinals.
I'm very happy, yes. So, just as I said before, the match, Chinese players are very dangerous. So, I was concentrated and focused at the very beginning of the match, and it works, I think.
Karol Skowerski is still on course to reclaim the title. He'll now face the winner of our opening match, Daniel Corriere. Elsewhere, Nikos Economopoulos of Greece will face Alex Pagulayan of Canada, who looked impressive in beating Darren Appleton. Coming next, one of the finest players to emerge from a pool-mad nation, a man who has stepped out of the shadow cast by Reyes and Bustamante, a player who has claimed this title and a world crown, Denis Orculio. He is chasing a second Masters title, but faces a man playing at home, a Mosconi Cup star and the winner of the China Open, England's Chris Mellor. Both men out for a place in the quarterfinals of the Party Poker World Pool Masters.